questioner's name?
Oh, that was
Pelvic.
No. She was She-Hulk 1415.
Thank you,
She-Hulk
She-Hulk
1413. Not the other one.
Okay. Here's the next question.
What's the hardest thing to cut out of the film? Well, the hardest thing to cut out of the film is when you get something actually animated, because when you get into animation and lighting, that's when all of the different departments have done all their work, and so we had a
really
couple
pouring their heart and
sequences.
soul into it.
We had a couple sequences where we did get all the way through animation, and there was a point where we flipped the story. So we had the protagonist as Nick at first, and then we flipped it to Judy being the protagonist, and that caused us to have to throw away a lot of amazing
stuff that had
animation.
been created up to that point. And there was a version of the Jumbo Pop scene.
That's right.
That was told from Nick's point of view, where it was very, very obvious that he was hustling Judy.
Yep.
And when the story became more about Judy's character, it was very apparent in that version that she was getting conned.
Mm-hmm.
And it made Judy seem really not the brightest bulb.
Yeah, and you never want that. You never want your protagonist to seem like they're not as smart.
You want to be discovering the world with your protagonist. So that was one that we had to change. We didn't cut it, but we changed it.
It changed
but that was a tough one to change because it played very funny from Nick's point of view, but it was not serving the story. So we had to cut. And so, how about we take a drink of water? Let's take a drink of water. Let's all take a drink of water.
Here's a question from Boxing Day 1925.
Hello, Boxing Day 1925.
These are all fake names. These are all fake. We're just making them up. It's off the top of our head.
It's a dude named Tony. Tony would like to know.
Hey, Tony, he wants to know, what is the question?
How'd you come up with the name Zootopia?
Well,
how'd you do that?
That's a great question, Tony. Well, at first, to tell you the truth, the movie was pitched as a movie called Savage Seas, which was a spy movie with all animals that took place in the South Pacific. That's why it was called Savage Seas, and the lead character's name was Jack Savage, who was a bunny spy. He was like a James Bond kind of spy.
I like this.
You like that?
I like this Jack Savage.
Jack Savage. What happened to him?
He's been cut.
He's been cut.
He's out of the movie.
That was tough to do, but we cut him out of there. So
that would have been a good answer to the last question.
That's true. Well, we answered that as well for She-Hulk. Blankety blank.
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
Well, Boxing Day.
But after a while, the movie evolved, so we figured out this whole predator-prey conflict, which was the main conflict in the movie. We decided that this movie needed to be called something. The city had to be something that felt like an idealistic city, like a utopia. If you know the word utopia, it means an amazing, ideal city where everyone gets along. We thought, well, combine that with the word zoo, and you get bat, Zootopia, animal, utopia.
This is a great story. This is a great story. Yeah. So Byron, this was before I came on as a co-director on the movie. Byron was trying to come up with some new names for the movie because they were saying, Savage Seas is it's not quite what the movie's about. So Byron kind of spent a few days writing down some ideas, and he got together with John Lasseter, and he's reading, down the list, these different title ideas, and he gets down to about the third one. He goes Zootopia, and then John Lasseter did.
Oh yeah, he does this. When John likes something, he does this. His eyebrows pop up. Like he'd be terrible at poker because when he has a good hand, those eyebrows.
That's a good idea. That's a good tip. If you want to win money in a poker game, play against John Lasseter because he will
watch his eyebrows.
It's called a tell.
It's a tell. It's a tell. So he told us with the eyebrows that he liked it.
He liked that, and we knew that was a winner.
And thus it was done. He said, "So be it." And so be it.
Kind of like
Zootopia.
So be it.
And people then asks us online, like, why is it not Zootopia all over the world?
Well, that's a good question.
Sometimes when you go out, we want it to be Zootopia in every country around the world. However, there are trademark issues in some countries, including
who you are.
You know you are countries. We love you anyway.
Trademark issue people. But it's the same movie. It's the same movie, but we had to change it for some markets. In the UK, parts of Europe, it's Zootropolis. In Germany,
we couldn't use Zootopia or Zootropolis, so it's
Zoomania.
And then in France, just to be different, it's Zootopie.
Zootopie. So we love you all. Thank you, Germany. Yeah. Thank you, France. We love those names.
Then in Liechtenstein it's Zoom Lama Ding Dong.
I don't know why they chose that.
That's a terrible title.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
We're going on to the next one.
Anyway, okay. So
next question.
How did the noir-ish story come about? Are you fans of film noir?
We are reading off of a monitor over here, just to let you, just the behind the scenes.
How it all happens.
I should be like going live from my phone so we can see it from both directions.
That'd be good.
So anyway, how did the noirish story come about? Are you fans of film noir?
Yeah,
I know I am.
So
I
film
love
noir, for those of you who aren't familiar with film noir is sort of classic mystery storytelling.
It's a genre of detective
story, sort of Sam Spade, kind of usually like these very
there's
abstract
usually
dark lighting.
there's a detective, there's usually a femme fatale.
Yep.
A lot of times it's not a happy ending.
Yep.
You know,
Darker stories.
It's a darker story. There's usually a conspiracy. It usually starts with. It's one of the huge conventions of it is that there's a little case that leads to something much bigger,
just like this.
And we are both big fans of that genre.
Like you always talk about Double Indemnity.
I love Double Indemnity. It's one of my favorite.
Is that
films.
a Hitchcock one?
No, that's Billy Wilder,
Billy Wilder.
who directed that, and I like The Maltese Falcon is one of my favorites.
And I love Third Man, which has Orson Welles, and that was shot over in Munich right after the war, and it has this great sort of gritty
Joseph Cotton.
It's amazing in that. So watch that. That's great.
Third Man. Double Indemnity. And more modern ones, Chinatown.
That's great.
Of course.
Jack Nicholson.
John
in that one.
Yep.
Beautiful.
He's like, to the future, Mr. Giddies. The future, Mr. Giddies.
And then he had to wear that weird nose bandage the whole movie, which is because they slashed his nose.
Right in the beginning of the movie,
that hurts.
Roman Polanski, who directed it, also plays like a thug that cuts Jack Nicholson's
Is that
nose.
Roman Polanski?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It's like, you know what happens?
Yeah.
You know, Kit Kat, the nosy people,
They get cut.
they lose their nose.
They lose their nose.
You know, they cut their nose off.
We didn't do that in Zootopia.
No. But, so that's a great one.
That's a great one. And yes, and
L.A. Confidential.
That's a great one,
I
too.
like that one, too.
But you'll see that even with the lighting in the movie, like there's that sequence in the middle with the asylum with the wolves, which is very noirish. It's very moody. We even tried to take all the color out of the screen, so it really almost looked black and white in certain parts. So great question.
That's a good one. You know what I think I would like to do right now?
I'd like to unbox. Rich is going to open a blind box.
So
this is a
blind box.
A Zootopia mystery mini.
It's a mystery mini. It's
made
a blind
by
box.
Funko Pop,
So
correct?
by Funko, and you can get the different ones you can get are Judy or Nick or Little Finnick, amongst others. So
what will it be? Guess.
It's
guess what will it be.
covered with a very tight cellophane.
To keep it fresh. Here we go.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to guess it is Bellwether.
You know what I like to do is open it from the bottom because then if you want to save the box, you can sit it like that and it will look brand new. So I like to start from the bottom.
It's all a lie.
Oh, this is nice.
Oh.
With the good glue.
All right.
Good glue.
All right.
Okay.
That's good.
Oh, this is nice how they're doing this now. They're putting these double tabs here.
Yeah.
Do you see that? Like that. It's different from the Kid Robot boxes.
It's true.
Okay, so here we go. It's got help.
It's
So it's
probably
going to
not
be a bigger character.
It's not Bellwether.
Yeah, I don't know. So usually they have a little tab where you can tear it, but this one doesn't have that. So I'm going to open it like a bag of chips.
Let's see.
There we go. It opens easy.
What
It
is
opens
this?
easy. Oh my God.
Oh, it's Jerry Jumbo Jr.,
Jerry Jumbo Jr.
owner of Jumbo Pop.
Voiced by in the
yes.
United States by
John DiMaggio, who was the voice of
Bender in Futurama.
Do you like Bender? Do you like Futurama?
Yeah, let's look at him closely. He's got a Jumbo Pop there, and I like his tusks. That's cute. Oh, look at his tail. Very cute. This is a great figure. I needed this one, so I'm going to add this to my collection. Great. Jerry Jumbo Jr.
Jumbo Jr.
I think we should answer another question now, Byron.
Okay. From Jerry Jumbo 1538. That's ironic that it would be the same. Jerry Jumbo actually asked this question.
That's so crazy.
How did we go about creating the world? It seems like a lot of time went into writing how all the different species interact. You are correct.
Oh my God.
A lot of time.
A lot.
So much time.
So tired.
Years and years. We're very tired.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So that's a big question. Creating the world took a long time. A lot of people. We don't do this alone. We work with hundreds and hundreds of people. We work in the core of people. About 7.
Let's bring them in right now.
Here they are.
One by one. Tommy,
come on in.
Abigail.
We work with a core of people in story and in art development that help us figure out what this world's going to look like. It was what we wanted to do is we wanted to give you a world that you'd never ever seen before with animals and really be true to how animals are in our own world. For scale, for example, like we wanted a mouse in Zootopia to be 2 inches tall, just like a mouse in our world. We didn't want
a giraffe about 27 feet tall.
Yeah,
exactly. So we didn't want to make this like a lot of those other talking animal movies where they cheat the scale. You know, they'll make the mouse bigger, they'll make the elephant smaller, and it helps in kind of composing shots. It just makes the filmmaking go easier.
Yeah.
But we said,
no,
let's not do that.
We said
this is a different kind of movie.
You deserve true scale. That's what you get with
And we
Zootopia.
gave you
That's right.
true skin.
We have tiny mice next to a rabbit. Like the rabbit runs through little redentia, and Hops looks like a giant.
And we felt, and I remember you said, like, is Judy too big to
Yeah,
the mice?
they showed
It's
me the
like-
mouse. The mouse was next to the Judy, and I said, "Wow, guys, the mouse looks too small." But they're like, "No!" And they brought up the internet and they said, "Look at this mouse next to a real rabbit." I'm like, "Guys,
All right,
you're
all right, all
You're
right, sold.
I recant."
Cool, fine, all right.
Next
Wait a
question. Here we are from Green Apple 1555.
I love that guy.
Green Apple. Were there any characters or environments that you loved but had to be cut?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yes. Well, what if
Well,
I could talk about an environment. Do you want to talk about a
I know a character.
You're a character.
There was a character that before Mayor Lionheart.
Yes.
There was a mayor.
Yes.
Mayor Swinton,
That's
and
right.
she was a pig. And she was supposed to be this very, very, and she was behind kind of the conspiracy.
She was behind the conspiracy. Yep.
In that version also. And she was a very funny character.
Very funny
and
character. We made her a pig because we found out in our research. We did about a year of research into animals in the film, and during that research, we found that pigs are one of the smartest animals, and we needed a
Very
smart
and one of the
prey
most
animal.
delicious.
Unfortunately,
Smart and
pigs-
delicious.
That's true. They are.
Come on,
They're yummy.
you know.
They're yummy. Anyway,
We joke. But she had a great line where she was in a mirror kind of putting on her makeup, and she kind of put on her lipstick, and she kind of stepped back and she's like, well, what do you know? I'm still a pig.
Still a
You know,
pig.
Still a pig.
Because of the
You
lipstick.
can't, because it's an old saying of you can't put lipstick on a pig. You know, put lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig.
we tried to put lipstick on a pig.
Whatever.
And the other,
you know when I say whatevs?
whatever.
Whatevs.
And the other, we had a big environment that we had to cut from
yeah.
the film. That was called Wild Times, which was a predator amusement park, and we thought
That Nick built.
Nick built this. This was in the early version of the story.
It's one of
when
his
Nick
scams.
was one of his scams, and it was a speakeasy where predators could go and they could sneak into the secret predator amusement park. And we thought, this is the greatest idea ever. We'll never leave the movie. We're going to build it completely. And we built the whole thing completely, and people spent a year on it. And then we turned the whole story upside down, and we had to throw it out, which was awful. But if you look at the art of book, there's all sorts of amazing art.
Check it out.
Check it out.
It's so good.
Beautiful.
Art of book. Wait, do we have one to show?
Oh,
No,
shoot.
we don't.
We don't.
We
But
don't.
it's out there.
You got to see this book.
You'll see it. You'll
it's
see it.
great. Spend the money.
This is related to
Or
the last
borrow
one.
it.
You borrow.
Go to the library.
Yeah. Libraries.
A
right?
lending library.
The lending, and you can
Yeah.
paste through. So how long did it take to make the movie? Was it longer than normal?
Was it longer than normal?
Yes, well,
I don't know if there is a normal.
It's about-
well.
yeah.
This movie took 5 years to make,
5
from
years.
concept to creation.
Yeah.
Correct.
And sometimes it's different. Like for Rapunzel, for example, that movie, the idea for that had been around since the 50s, and then Glenn
Right.
Keane had it for many years before Nathan and I jumped on.
And Glenn Keane, I don't know if you know, but he's
he
a
here?
legendary animal or animator.
Animator. He's a legendary animal.
He drew this.
Oh!
He drew this.
Where
Glenn
did you
Keane,
get that?
I stole it.
Where did you get?
I stole it from off the wall.
This is missing
You know.
from someone's office here.
Yeah, this is I stole from Glenn Keane's
Look at
office.
that's beautiful.
Isn't
Look at
that a beautiful
Look at
drawing?
that foot. See?
So Glenn Keane drew that, and he also. Why were we talking about Glenn?
Oh,
about Rapunzel.
Rapunzel, yes.
Yeah,
Anyway,
sorry.
yes. But yes, anyway. So these films are in development for many different spans of time. And this one I had pitched about 5 years ago as a spy movie with animals, and it evolved over years.
It's called Savage Seas, right?
It was called Savage Seas. Remember from
Remember
earlier
we
in the
talking about
broadcast?
that?
That's right.
Remember
that's
that?
what happened. But now it's turned into
Callback.
this. It's a callback, but they do evolve. And people ask us also, how long does it take to get an animation script done? And the answer is it takes forever. We never stop writing and changing the script, even to write it before it's released.
We're
making
still
changes.
working on the movie.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so it can take anywhere from like 3
3 to
years.
5 years, I'd say.
5 years
Yeah,
is
5
about that's average.
That's about
I
right.
would say.
About average, better.
Okay, next question.
Yeah.
What was the hardest aspect of creating Zootopia?
Okay.
The hardest aspect of creating it.
How hard is that? I suppose
well,
it's the... what would you say?
You know, it's all a challenge. It's because we wanted to create this world that was created for and by animals, and we wanted it to be different from anything else ever done.
That's right.
And we would say like, oh, you know, how can we take those other stories further that
Right.
we'd seen?
Right.
Like how, you know. Like in some of those stories, you know, you see them living in the city, but I know as a kid I would always ask, isn't the polar bear hot? You know, like wearing a suit, you know, and it's all sunny and, you know, so we said, well, we've got to make it different. So how do we do that? And we thought, well, how about different climate neighborhoods, you know, that are designed to make animals feel comfortable according to where they're from, you know, and so we told that to our designers and they were both kind of excited.
Yeah.
And Like,
terrified.
oh my god!
I'm terrified.
And we're gonna make this movie. How soon?
Very soon. But the thing is, we do always go back to reality, to real world, and we want it to be believable. So we actually talk to scientists and experts who know about building cities, and even air conditioning experts, because we said we have a desert and a tundra right next to each other in the city. How could this work?
Could it really work?
Could it really work? And they looked at us funny.
And
they
so
said,
we brought in the AC guy.
The AC guy said, well, if you had enough money and determination and gumption, and these animals have gumption, you could build a miles-long air conditioning wall that existed between Tundra Town and Sahara Square, and the cold air goes into Tundra Town, just like a real air conditioner at your home. Hot air comes out one side, cold out the other, and it all works. So if you look at it, again, check out the art book, look at the designs of Matthias Lechner.
Kind of weird that the AC guy's name was Miles Long.
Miles long air conditioning systems, yes. Yeah. Miles Long wall.
So he's giving this guy a shout out.
Yeah, well done, Miles.
Miles Long, AC. Check him out. This guy, he's the best.
That's true.
He's the best in the West.
What would you say is your favorite? This could tie into this. Do you have a favorite scene?
Do I have a favorite scene?
Yes, a favorite scene in the movie.
Oh, I've got a lot of favorite scenes. Man, that's a tough question. I love the sloth scene, the DMV scene. I love the scene where Judy is about to get fired when Bogo is like, bad.
That's great.
And then Nick comes to her rescue and defends Judy for the first time.
I really love Nick in that scene.
Yeah, that's like one of my favorite scenes.
Yeah, I love her acting there.
And just where that goes then too with them bonding in the gondola.
Yes.
Like in that cart.
The beautiful Michael Giacchino music kind of playing in the background, that great theme and the beautiful
and that one always makes me a little like I'm finally kind of identifying with Nick and I'm feeling the heart, like we said, of the story, the relationship building between Nick and Judy. So that's those. I love those, and I like the funny scenes too. But
that's tough because there are a lot of
emotional ones too.
But we're very proud. Like we have a great team of story artists who help us create these scenes, and also animators who then take it even to the next level. And this next question: did any of the scenes make you cry? And which ties into this.
That
last
one
thing.
Almost does.
See, that one that makes Chris cry.
Because when I see like what made Nick,
right.
His experience, it was so much like Judy's, and now I'm understanding like why he's acting the way he does.
Right.
That he's not just kind of a glib, cynical guy. That he had this experience much like Judy's, and different from Judy. She decided I'm going to use this bullying as fuel to realize my dream. Nick kind of gave up in that moment.
That's true.
So it really gives me insight to his character.
And there's a scene later, I'm not going to spoil anything in the movie if you haven't seen it yet, but there's a scene where Hops apologizes to Nick for something that's happened between them. And the performance there from Jennifer Goodwin is so emotional, and the animator who animated that scene, her name is Kira Letamaki, and she's the lead on Hops. I think it's one of the most beautiful pieces of animation I've ever seen anyone do. And that makes me choke up. Even thinking about it, I'm getting choked up here on Facebook Live.
It's making me clicky. It's making my voice clicky. What we do is when our voices get clicky when we're recording.
We eat apples when we cry.
When we record actors and their mouth gets dry and clicky.
Vitamin A helps you not cry.
Just take a bite of green apple. Miranda sings. I taught it to her. Now she can't stop eating green apples. That's all she does.
What
lives on them?
What surprised us the most about the reception of the film? Great question.
Well, it's just that people really responded to our main characters, Nick and Judy. We get tons of tweets and every day, both of us, of people just saying, I love these characters. I love Nick and Judy. And especially people saying, like, I really identify with Judy. I feel her struggle. That's my life, too. So that it's not surprising as much as just kind of it feels affirming. The people have we love our characters. We love developing them and working with the actors and the artists who help bring them to life. And when the audience then embraces them the way we have, over the course of making the film, it's a really, really good feeling. So that's a great way
to put it. Because I think we talk about these stories a lot for years. We sit in rooms together and we talk about our own experiences, and that's what when we watch a movie, we do these things in a rough form, maybe 10 or 12 times, and we show them to our crew over a period of 2 years. And if we're watching the movie and we're not feeling something, then we always go back to reality, our real lives, and we talk to everybody in the studio. We want people to bring into the movie what's personal to them, and we try to get that into the movie, which is where the movie starts to feel deep. That's when the characters have depth, like Rich was saying. That's when you start to relate to them, because everyone wants to go to a movie and look up on screen, and no matter if it's a talking rabbit or a dancing teacup from Beauty and the Beast, it doesn't matter. It should be something that you can relate to, and no matter what the character is up on screen, we have to find that key to connect you to that character. So it's great for us to see that, exactly what Rich said, people connecting with the characters. That's the best treat in the world for us.
That was a great question.
That was a great question.
And for that question, we are going to give you Dancing Teacup 101, an official Zootopia crew jacket.
That is the luckiest teacup in the world. That'll never fit. It's too big.
No, this is a giant one.
Yeah, that's too big. We'll get a teacup size
big is this?
jacket for you.
You know whose this is?
Oh, this is
this was
one. Nate Torrance. Nate, if you're watching,
oh my God,
we have your jacket.
I think all this stuff is
so for only $39.95.
I think we have been going through Nate's bag of goodies.
This is probably.
I brought this in. I thought
these apples belong to Nate Torrance, the voice of Clawhauser.
Here, I'll repack it for you, Nate. God, if he's watching right now, imagine.
He's like, "Where's my stuff?" All right,
you guys, what? I'm touching my stuff. Sorry, Nate. I'm really, really sorry.
Here's a good question.
Yeah, we're giving away your jacket, Nate. Okay.
The next question is, will there be a sequel? What's next for Zootopia? I think we would love to go into further depth in this.
I would love that. That's great.
It's a big world, and we love the characters. Anytime you get a character that people relate to and worlds, I think that would be fun.
And I think that we sit around. We were touring recently. We were promoting the movie in Europe and in Mexico and around the United States. And sometimes Byron and I would say, "Hey, what about if there's another story and we did this, you know?" And we're kind of just throwing around, ideas. And when something characters and a world and potential story material is that fertile, I don't know. I think it just kind of is screaming for it.
Yeah.
And also, I don't know about you, but do you get lots of tweets about is there going to be a sequel?
Yeah, lots of tweets, lots of people writing in on Facebook and yep.
So I would say write to our boss.
Yeah, if you guys like it, just write them a note.
I'm with you guys.
Just suggest
You know what?
Just
it's like you've convinced me.
Yeah,
and I think you've convinced Byron.
Yeah, you got us.
We're on.
We're
with you.
Preaching to the choir. Your question: did you study animals in real life to make this movie? If so, where and how?
Where and how did we study animals?
Yes.
Well, we went to the zoo.
Went to the zoo.
We went to
one of the best zoological exhibits in the world, which is Disney's Animal
Kingdom
in Florida.
Beautiful place.
Amazing place, and they have done amazing things to make animals comfortable in those environments. So we talked to their experts down there. We were able to get very close to the animals, but then we came back to California after that, and John Lasseter said, "That's great, guys."
The information,
and he said, "That's great, guys,
cool.
But now you need to go where real animal society really is." And
San Diego's Wild Animal Park.
And he was like, "No." And he said, "You guys are going to Africa." And we're like,
wow.
"Oh, wow, you really mean it." And so, they packed us up and they sent us to Kenya, beautiful Kenya, Africa, where we flew into Nairobi, and then they flew us in these little tiny puddle jumper planes out into the middle of nowhere. We landed in the midst of herds of 200 zebra and 50,000, I'm not kidding, 50,000 wildebeest. That's a light day. They have... Really,
but not light on the smell.
Not let them know. You smell them as soon as you get there.
Smell them coming.
And the flies. Let me tell you, there's flies.
Yeah, time flies.
Time flies, right? But we learned a ton in Africa. One of our camps was actually right next to a watering hole, about 30 feet away, and we saw during the day that lions would come in and drink water right next to gazelle and zebras, animals they normally eat, and
that was so crazy.
That was amazing.
Of just like, don't they see it's a zebra? Why is he not eating him?
Yeah, and it was crazy, and we thought that's and everyone's behaving, and then they'd walk away. Everyone had their water, and they walked away, and everyone.
The expert said, when they need the essentials, they put down all that stuff.
Yep.
They're civilized.
And we thought that's very much like human cities. Human cities are places where people get together, people of all different backgrounds who may not see eye to eye. They have to come together to live and to work and to exist. And we thought that's a really neat parallel for our story. And that's
like
where
this room,
Yes, you have to come
it's kind of like a watering hole.
It's a watering hole.
Ordinarily, we would be killing one another and eating one another.
Fruit. We have Nate Torrance's stuff.
And look at this. We've also got...
Oh,
look at that.
This is a good segue because...
Can we talk about the pop figures for a moment?
I mean...
Look at this.
I know. This
I mean,
is
we can't
Flash.
really unbox it because we know what it is, but I gotta tell you, Funko has done it again, folks. You know, do you collect these?
I do. This is
we,
adorable.
we are horrible collectors.
And this is a good segue because as Rich shows off this beautiful figure, there's a question here that says, "Did you spend time with real
Dude,
sloths?
look at that.
Real ones of these."
Yeah, I mean,
And the
this is a
answer-
fake one. This is a toy.
That's actually
you
slower
know.
than a real sloth.
Yeah,
It will not
this
move
is-
at all.
I can't even do how slow it does.
No, too slow.
It's too fast.
Too slow.
So we
Yes.
have spent
Yes.
time over the past month. We've been with two different sloths
Yes.
actually when we were on the road.
And the weird thing, tell them the weird thing about both sloths that we were with. One was in Dallas and one
Mm-hmm.
was in Los Angeles. But the weird thing is that
Was the what?
they're both named.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
You
The weird
remember-
thing. The
remember-
weird
this
thing.
is
No,
weird.
I'm just because they were so different.
That's-
You know,
yeah.
but they were. They
They
were
were.
very different.
Different
One
species.
Was, one we saw twice.
Right.
And it was always asleep. And I
Always.
couldn't even see its face.
No.
It was always
It was-
kind of tucked in the ball like that. The other one in Dallas was like hyper.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the fastest sloth I've ever seen.
Yeah, maniac sloth just jumping at you.
But they were both named Lola.
Yep. So
I don't know how. What's the odds?
So if you're out there, if you're
What
a
if-
sloth owner, move away from Lola. Lola's been
Yeah, it's
used
been
a lot.
used. It's
okay,
been used
so
2 times.
Done with
you know,
Lola. So.
And we also called it Slola.
There you go.
know,
See,
because-
Lola the
because
sloth. That's true. That's true.
Anyhow,
But we did spend time
but
with
you
them.
got to check